Hello and welcome today. I'm so glad you're here with us. If you haven't taken a chance to like, subscribe, please do that. We're moving up and we're trying to get a lot more subscriptions so that we can make this more often. As you can tell, my voice is still not in the best condition. I am working at getting healthier. I really had a real bad battle with COVID. After that, I got a bad cold and some sinus problems, and it's been a beast of a thing. But there is an article out, so I thought I'd better get on and share a little bit about the new article. This is their fourth article, and this is probably the more exciting one that I've seen out of all the articles. This is kind of the one I'm like, whoa, I really got to look at these ones. And now we have a chance to look back and reflect on everything that's coming out for the next wave. And so this is kind of going to be taking a look at that too as well as we go. And so why don't we jump right into the article here and we'll look at the article. So this article is about the Mandalorians. That always starts with a quote from Clone Wars. Your people are strong and powerful, but you will need an army to free Mandalore, Maul. And so the Shadow Collective employs all manner of soldiers to do Maul's bidding, but perhaps the most crucial of these undertakings is the support of the Mandalorian super commandos. The history of these elite fighters is rooted in a long-standing tradition of the Death Watch, which is kind of cool. The Death Watch are kind of cool. After Previstas was killed by Maul, he took the black darksaber, as we know. Defeated by Maul, they modified their appearance with black and red coloring to better reflect their new leader's image. Respected amongst the galaxy as finest warriors, they would be responsible for holding the line against the Shadow Collective's toughest enemies. Oh, Shadow Collective's toughest enemies. If I could actually read, that would be helpful. And in this installment of scenes, the stats, we're taking a look at the Mandalorian Super Commandos of Star Wars Legion. Now, I kind of was bummed that they called them the Mandalorian Super Commandos because like the Super Commandos are also in the Empire. So it's kind of like, maybe these guys could have went the Empire too, but then they kind of made it just a Mandalorians. So, they're a little bit bummed about that, but all said and done, there's their card. We'll come back to that. And then it goes on and it talks about the different things. But now we kind of got the majority of things that come in the pack. And you can read the article. It's a good article, and it is worth reading through. So let's take a look at this card. I'm going to stop here because this is a good way of taking a look at this card right now. It's 75 points, which is about where you want to see them or where you thought you would see them. Compared to the Rebel Mandalorians, I would say they're a little bit better. So they have 3 in the unit. They are 75. They can take 1 heavy upgrade. They can take 1 training, 1 comms, 1 equipment, 1 weapons upgrade, grenade. So they have surge to defense, and they have 1 health, red armor, 2 courage, which is pretty similar to the other Mandalorians so far. Combat exercise, 2 blacks in close range. Then they have a gun that's 1 to 2 with 2 blacks, which is good if you're in range 1 to 2. But they have a range 1 to 3 gun, black and white, which is just a little bit better there. It makes them a little more versatile. They're still speed 3. They have jump 2, this is great. But here's where it gets kind of cool. They have defender 1. And so after you are issued an order, you gain 1 dodge token, And this is the same thing you see on the Rebel veterans. Why am I blowing my brain here? Maybe it's because I'm really cold and I got a cold. And so the Rebel veterans, it's got Imperious, which we all have a kind of understanding that is an extra die for every die roll. Pierce, which helps them kind of survive. But here's they got independent aim. So here's the thing. If you give them an order, they get a dodge. If you don't give them an order, they get an aim. Pretty good. So let's look at all the things you can get for this unit because we're looking at the unit as a whole now. And it kind of will help. So we're going to jump first to, we've looked at the unit card. So let's take a quick look at the heavy guys that you can put in. So for 24 points, you can just put another standard trooper, which gives you 1 more health. And it's going to give you Cache Surge 2. So you can put 2 Surge tokens on them. Even if that guy dies, you can use those Surge tokens. They're kind of like a reserve of Surge. Then we're moving along to the Super Commando Gunslinger, range 2. So when you're in that range 2 band, now remember, if they're in range 3, he still gets the black and white because they can use the guns that are already in there at range 3. But if you get in the range 2 band, you're getting 2 blacks, two whites added to your dice pool, and you're gaining lethal 1. Which is not bad for 30 points. And then you're going to get into another 30-point unit, and this is for a Super Commando Marksman, and at range 1 to 3. So if you're really trying to keep him at that range 3, then you get a red, a white, and a black added to it, and you add precise 1. So that gives you an ability to reroll an extra dice, so 3 dice instead of 2. Now, Rook Cast, I was hoping she would come in more than just a heavy, but that was kind of what we knew she was going to come in. At range 1 to 2, she gives 2 reds, 2 whites, and she gives 2 health. So that gives you a little extra health, 2 reds, 2 whites, and an extra health. Then she gives you Retiny Maul. So if you're running Maul, you kind of want Rook Cast, because if she is near Maul, if they start within range 1 to 2 of Maul, they get they can take an aim or a dodge token. So they get an aim or dodge. Then if they don't get a unit, a thing offered to them, then they get a dodge. And if they do get one offered to them, if they do get one offered to them, they get a dodge. And then, so you're guaranteed at least a dodge every turn if you want it, if you keep them near Maul. So, and then if they don't get a taken, they get an aim. And then, so that's the case, they get an aim. And so you can get 2 aims if you need, in those times you need it. And so that lets you trigger your precision. Well, no, that's on her. But it just gives you at least 2 aim rerolls sometimes. Yeah, so I'm not complaining. I think that's a pretty good layout of cards. And then we have 2 upgrades that they can take. We have the equipment upgrade, which is a shield, which is, I think, is great for these guys because it gives them 2 extra damage that they can take. You gain shield, 2 shield tokens, and that way you can kind of take a couple 2 free hits. Because the one thing about the Mandalorians for the Rebels is they can be shot down pretty good. They got good defensive rolls and stuff, but they still seem to die because they only have 1 health. And for basically, you're looking at 105 points to 110. Well, cheapest you can go is 99 points to 110 points without any other upgrades. So 120 points per unit with the shield. It gives you 2 extra units. That's 2 extra life, which is quick and nice. Or you can also get the range 4 jet rockets, and these are basically the same thing as you see on the other Mandalorians. Same price, 8 points. Impact 1, critical 1, a blast. I can't remember. It's a one-time use. Range 4, and these are only range 4. I don't know if the other ones were 2 to 4. I would have to look back, but I think it might be exact same. There's got to be something a little different, but I would have to look at the card and search it up, and I'm not going to do that right now. So that's kind of the look at the main set of cards for them. Now, the way I would probably play, I would probably play 2 units of them. I did buy 2 units of these, so I would probably play one with Rook Cast, and with her, I probably would throw that shield on it, and then I would play another one with maybe a generic one, and just to keep it a little cheaper, and just hard defensive. Yeah, I think that's where I'd go. Probably a generic one. And then that would give them, I think that they would probably do well with something like duck and cover because they're going to be moving fast. They'll get out of cover sometimes. So if you're going to get them in close combat, they're not exactly great close combat fighters because I think they're better to be shooting at range 2 if you're going to do that. And so I think they're just really quick and they're just cool. I don't, even if they weren't great in the battlefield and they weren't able to do much, I would take them just because of the way they look. They're just great models to paint. They are probably the coolest models yet that they've made, just by looking at it for the pictures, the mock-ups. Yeah, like that. That just let's take a look. Let's go back here for a second. Look there. Those are cool. Like I always like the kind of the Mandalorian look, but those ones are just kind of cool. Like I can't wait to paint them. I'm just like super excited about painting those. So, but there's more to this now. So let's take a look at this over here. There is all the cards that they've revealed for upgrade cards that coming with this. Now there is maybe more, but these are all kind of very nice and have very unique rules. And I feel like I'm going to cough here. Very nice, and they all have unique rules. I can see how up close and personal is going to be really good with Mandalorians, but I think it plays better with Mandalorians. Well, it plays good with these Mandalorians still because we have Rage 2 and 2 to Black, but this is really going to play, I think, good with the Rebel Mandalorians. This card here, Emergency Transponders, it might be one of the best 4-point cards out there. And I know it's only one use, and I sometimes get annoyed with one use, but this one use card's giving you an aim, a dodge, and removes a suppression. That is pretty good one use. So aim, dodge, remove a suppression. So I like that. I can bolster a guy really quick with an aim and a dodge, and I get to remove a suppression. So, and here's kind of the thing that makes it even good is when you are activated, if you were activated by a token from the draw pile. So in other words, if you draw a card, and which happens a lot, especially if you're looking at something like stormtroopers, or now I know you'd have to put a comms officer to get this with them, but when you draw a card from the draw pile, you're getting an aim, a dodge, and remove suppression. So I think it has some pretty cool plays. I would have to look at how I place it in and everything, and but I think it's pretty cool. Some people are really liking or really digging the cachet cards, but I think for 5 points, that's pretty expensive dodge, because cachet's dodge 1. During your turn, place 1 dodge token during your setup. Place 1 dodge token here, and then you can use it in the game off the card as if it was your own dodge. And so there is some really good situations where this is kind of cool, but it's 5 points for 1 dodge, and it only happens once. 4 points, you're getting a dodge, an aim, and removing a suppression. I think that's a little bit better. But you have to kind of both be able to use them. And then 8 points, lead by example. I see this card being a great card, but I'm also unsure if it's priced right. But I might be wrong. I could be just thinking it needs to be. I think it should be 6 points or 7 points, but maybe then it becomes an auto include. This gives you Inspire 2. It really helps with getting rid of suppression. And me being a Rebel player, throw that on Leia, and you got Inspire 4. She can just basically get rid of suppression. And that would be annoying for somebody you're playing if they're playing an Empire and they're trying to build a suppression list, and you're just inspiring it all off. And then it just melts away, and they're like, oh, all that hard work for nothing. Because suppression is really like the bonus reward for doing bad on your dice. It's like, hey, I didn't get a hit through, but at least I got a suppression. I might be able to slow them down. And so it's kind of like keeps you happy in the game. So if you're having bad rolls, that might just add insult to it all. Like the other guy's rolling perfect defenses, and you're like, he's always rolling. So you're like, at least I get a suppression, but no, sorry. So let's add insult to injury. Well, guys, I don't really have a whole lot else I want to talk about. I just wanted to get on and share this, and I was going to do it live, but still, my internet is not great here. But I will be better in less than a week. Fiber optics coming to my neighborhood, and I've got it coming and being installed where I live. And so I'm in the middle of nowhere, and I got fiber optic coming Friday. And so hopefully with the upload speed and download speed that I'll be getting from that, I will not have to worry about doing live stuff anymore. And I can even be taping some more live games and stuff. We have a few games coming up that we will be taping and getting out to you guys real soon. I have a 3D printing video that I promised I would make. The only issue with that right now is that I have 3 of my 3D printers needing serviced right now. So I'm just working on getting those serviced. And yeah, so I am working on all those videos. And thank you guys for subscribing and being a part of the community. Like, subscribe, and chat with me. We can have a great time and continue to build the community around such a wonderful game that Atomic Mass Games is putting out now, Star Wars Legion. May the Force be with you guys, and I'll see you next time.